They struggling. They are struggling.
This is like Christmas.
Naomi Sapphire was born in South Africa and the United States. She came back home, realized how much she missed this place.
You cannot dictate what makes your heart happy. So you leave and then you come back because ultimately this is home.
Last year, Sapphire left North Carolina for a seaside town in South Africa's Western Cape. Now, she says her 3 children spend more time outdoors, health insurance is affordable, and she prefers the schools. She's among thousands of white South Africans coming back from abroad, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's statements that South Africa's white minority is being persecuted by the country's black majority government.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa.
The Trump administration is ramping up its new refugee program for white South Africans, focusing on Afrikaners, the descendants of Dutch settlers, such as Sapphire and her family. About 3,500 South Africans have entered the United States as refugees since the program started in May 2025. Pretoria says there is no evidence of discrimination or persecution against whites. Many white South Africans and Afrikaners have welcomed Trump's support, but insisted they nevertheless want to remain in their country. And others who left decades ago are now returning. Anton van Heerden is an employment agent who has been trying to help returnees keep their jobs abroad by shifting to remote work. He said inquiries from white South Africans seeking to return had jumped 70% in the past 6 months.
We have also asked these people why they're coming back, and we got a lot of different reasons. The obvious ones would be whether family, friends, the vibe in South Africa, but also things like costs of living and living standards are considered to be very high in South Africa.
For Naomi and her husband, Danny, they're happy with their choice.
Some of the metrics that we use to decide like whether or not this is our permanent place is education, cost of living, how much we're enjoying the place.
You remember a lot of people kept talking about these white South African refugees. DT gave them a VIP welcoming treatment. Now these people, they are fed up. They are done. They are saying they want to go back to their home country, South Africa. Each and everyone is talking about them. You remember last time we've been saying the way these people started to complain. Life in America is so complicated. They can't manage to live this expensive life. They lie to them. They lie to give them a lot of money. They are not getting anything. Guys, these white Afrikaners, they are returning in South Africa in mass because they are done. Even other white Afrikaners, they are returning back in South Africa. Those white Afrikaners who went in Germany, they are saying their home country in South Africa is more safe more than living in Europe. They are saying even life there in South Africa is very affordable. They could manage. Let's dive into today's episode. Drop your thought in the comment section. Then we'll come back with more commentaries.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the My Opinion Show with Grandma Sherry. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Did y'all hear the latest about those white South Afrikaners? They leaving. You heard me. They packing their bag and going back. They said they had it better over there. They said America is too expensive, and they seeing all this shit that Trump is doing. They said it's too much crime for them. Hell, they going back. They said they had plenty of black friends over there. They didn't realize how racist America is up here. They didn't realize that these white folks were this racist towards black and brown people. They said, fuck this shit. Packing their bags, y'all. They going back home. They said they had it better over there in South Africa. You know how Trump was saying it's a genocide out there against the white people? The white folks he brought here. Those refugees. They're going back to South Africa. Y'all heard me. They're going back over there because they said they had it better over there. We're going to repeat that. They had it better over there. But Trump said there was a genocide. Remember that shit? They going back home to South Africa. They said it's too expensive, too much crime out here, too much shit is going on with Trump. They're going back to South Africa to be with their black friends.
Well, well, well. It seems like a lot of South Africans, majority of them being white, are returning to South Africa because they fear for their lives in the US. Mr. Andrew Veitch says he left SA because he was held at gunpoint in his car and he felt unsafe. Now he says he fears for his life because there's greater threats in the United States, citing mass shootings in public places as well as violence by US immigration officers. He is one of 12,000 people that have checked their citizen status online since November last year. 12,000 people are showing interest. Minister of Home Affairs, Leon Schreiber, says 1,000 have reclaimed their citizenship, a number expected to grow significantly as this new program that has revoked the 1995 law that says if you go and live abroad, your citizenship is revoked. That has been changed so people can apply again for citizenship. I for a fact know that the DA is going to use this as a strategy to get more white people to return to South Africa to increase their voting power.
So listen, before I go to sleep, I need to tell you guys this, okay? So I chatted with someone from South Africa who is Afrikaner today and who is going to be applying to come to the United States. And she was trying to explain her plight because she was seeing that a lot of people do not want Afrikaners over here as refugees, okay? And I'm going to strictly say that. They don't want Afrikaners. We don't want Afrikaners over here as refugees with refugee status. Okay, so she continues to explain herself, and she does not mention anything about genocide. She doesn't mention anything about someone taking her land from her. She doesn't mention any of that as to the reason why she plans on coming to America with her children. This is the reason that she gave, which is not a qualification for a refugee status. Okay, she said that she couldn't find a job. Not only did she say she couldn't find a job, but she said she couldn't find a job because of her race. She believed she couldn't find a job because of her race. And she also believed that her children did not have a future in South Africa. That doesn't qualify to be a refugee. That honestly does not qualify. Do you know how many people in the United States of America can't find work? Do you know how many people just lost their jobs in the United States of America because of this administration? I mean, do they have refugee status? Can they fly anywhere and be like, oh, okay, well then, give me food, clothing, shelter, and everything, and your government needs to pay for it because we're refugees because we can't find a job here in the United States of America. Now, I'm not going to lie. She was like, I don't have anything against my people in South Africa, nor do I, and I'm not racist. I'm just Afrikaner, and I just want to find a job. But I said, but you're not a refugee. Not because not because you can't find a job. Simply because you can't find a job, you think you're a refugee? If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make you a refugee. She said nothing about any of the quote unquote genocide, any of the, oh my gosh, all she said was she couldn't find a job. That's it. And the White House is allowing this.
Well, hello, boys and girls. Do y'all remember all these smiling faces that arrived here about a year ago? Well, I remember them. They got off of that plane smiling like they had just landed in Disney World. They thought they was about to come over here and live a life of luxury, zero labor, and all the racism their little hearts can stomach. But they are learning out the hard way that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and racism is expensive than a motherfucker. They can barely pay rent. They don't have the right clothing. They can't afford to buy the right clothing because they're barely affording rent. They barely have food, and most of them are still living out of hotels, which we know is expensive as a motherfucker. They thought they was about to come over here and be the brand new Elon Musk. arriving from South Africa. Yet another fatality of those that have blindly put their faith in Trump, racism, and hatred. Happy Black History Month.
You may recall last year we reported on the Trump administration's decision to limit the number of refugees entering the United States. That number was set at 7,500, a significant cut from the Biden era. In addition, the administration is prioritizing white South Africans for admission, a group it says faces persecution at home, something the South African government disputes. Well, now an investigation from the Free Press shows many of those white South Africans, also known as Afrikaners, are barely scraping by because of what they say are failures in U.S. government systems. Madeline Rowley is an investigative reporter for the Free Press, and she joins us now from Virginia to talk about this. And we should note the Free Press and CBS News share a parent company in Paramount Skydance. Madeline, good morning. Talk to us about the conditions some of these refugees say they are experiencing, because the administration made it seem as if they were being prioritized. They are a special group.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on. Yes, I spoke to 10 South African refugees who told me that, they came to the U.S. hoping for a better life, a better situation, just as other refugees. And the government contracts with 7 refugee resettlement agencies that are paid hundreds of millions of dollars per year to provide safe, sanitary, and affordable housing. And unfortunately, what I heard from these Afrikaner refugees is that they're spending weeks in motels in unsafe areas. They're being offered housing that is full of mold, apartments that are full of mold in expensive areas. So each refugee is allotted $2,000, and all of that has been going to rent. So they're really left with nothing. And these agencies are supposed to help them apply to jobs, obtain temporary benefits such as SNAP and Medicaid, and basically other people from the community, like neighbors, are having to step in because they just, in some cases, can't even get a hold of their resettlement agencies.
And Madeline, what jumps out to me about what you're saying is we have this almost split screen between what you're describing their life is like now and how they looked in May of 2025 when they were being welcomed here. They were holding American flags. They had smiles on their faces. When you asked refugee groups about these issues with the resettlement process, what are they telling you? How common is this?
Well, from what I could tell, there's an entire network of people as they come. People I spoke to came as soon as 2 weeks ago. And what they do is, they have a network through social media groups and WhatsApp, and they're all realizing, oh no, I'm stuck in this hotel. I only have a certain amount of food. They don't have transportation. They don't have the right clothing. I talked to 3 refugees who are in Detroit. It's very cold there. They do not have coats. So they're realizing that they really feel.
Since this story of white South African refugees, DT gave them this VIP welcoming, people across the world, they kept laughing, making a lot of jokes about them, because you remember, DT said that their priority, they are passing through a lot, discrimination, genocide there, they don't like them. Now he's going to rescue them, giving refugee resettlement in America because it's a safe place. They are going to treat them light. They are going to care about their life. These people thought that they are going in America, in a land of honey and sugar. They never knew that what Elon Musk and DT is doing, they are playing with their mind. Now, most of them, they are fed up. They are done. After arriving in America, you have seen the way life started to be so complicated, so difficult. Most of them, they've been sitting in their home thinking that the government is going to take care of them as if they are priority, as if they are superior to other Americans. They never think that these people, they play the card on their head. Now, they started to complain. They started to get help from their neighbors. This time around, some of them, they are starting to come back in South Africa. They are saying, please, please, we want to go back in South Africa. We can't keep up with this life. How come these people, they lie to us? They told us that when you come in America, you are going to have a safety place. We are going to treat you right because you are white Afrikaners. You are priority. Each and everyone is going to feel that they are really in America. these people, this time around, when you see the way they are turning back in South Africa, you could ask yourself, what is really happening? These people were talking for them that they are passing through a road. There is a genocide in South Africa, discrimination. They took away their properties. They don't have any help. Government of there is not taking care of them. Now we want to rescue them. We want to take them here in America to have good life. They never knew. Even the MAGA people are crying because they lied to them. They never thought twice that these people, they are playing with their mind. They never think that it's a game card. Now see, they are returning back. You've been away from your home almost 6 months, 9 months. You are going to go back in South Africa. Even South Africans, they are saying we don't want them here. They harass our country, saying that they are living badly. We don't like them. They are passing through violence. How come this time around they are returning where they said that it's insecure? They are not comfortable to live there. This is something like embarrassment to our country. They should stay in America. Imagine. There is a lot of mixing of these white Afrikaners. Even when we say this who were in America who want to return back, let's talk about the other Afrikaners who went in different countries, in Europe, in Canada, in Australia. Most of them, they are returning back. They are saying they can't cope up to keep living in those Western countries, and yet life there is so expensive. They can't afford to live there. They are coming back with their families to live in South Africa because there they can afford the life. They've been living luxurious life, but the moment they choose to shift to go in other countries, they started to suffer. Now, most of them, they are starting to come back. Even the government of South Africa is saying they are preparing to get thousands and thousands of these white Afrikaners who are returning back from different countries. Now, see the way people could play with politics. They lied to them. Each and everyone thought that in South Africa there is no life, people are suffering, people are passing through a road, and yet on their side they knew that what they are doing and what they are talking about them is not the truth. These people, they are billionaires. They have a lot of industries. They have a lot of farms in South Africa. They are living good lives. Even most of them, they never left each and everything. They left some of their family relatives and their properties are kept there, bringing a lot of profits while they are away in America or in Australia. Now, these Afrikaners, they are coming back. They are coming back. They are saying they need to come back in South Africa. That's where they are going to stay. You could ask yourself, if white people in our days, most of them, they are fighting a road to come back in Africa, to look property in Africa, to buy property in Africa, why they make it so difficult for Africans to go in their home countries? And yet most of them, they keep saying, when they see well, their future is in Africa. Africa is the only continent which remains with the origin organic life. That's where they want to live. In Senegal, we have seen last time we talk about a video where this white European, they went there to occupy all those beaches. Now, people there are complaining. How come these people, they are coming from their home country to come occupy our beaches? We don't want them here. If they make it difficult for us to go in their home country, how come each and every time they come here, they like our land, they like our climate, they like our weather? We don't want them. Now, see, they don't want you to go in their home country, but for them, they like Africa so much, but they can't come out publicly say we like Africa. They just come in Africa like a thief in a hidden way. The moment they step their foot down in Africa, they don't want to go back in their home country. See the card right now. Guys, let me know what you think today's episode. Drop your thought in the comment section. See you in my next video. Bye.